What's good, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. It is your host, Bando, back at it with a fresh episode because we have to go through and do the review on UFC 327. It was actually a pretty dope card. Not gonna lie, there was some pretty damn good fights on this card. It was an exciting card. All right, so there's definitely some stuff to review, definitely some stuff we have to talk about. And let me get it out the way real quick. I did record a breakdown. But for some reason, I think it's because my thing wasn't plugged in. It was like plugged in properly. It was all muffled. So I couldn't edit it. And I was going to edit it and post it on Saturday. And it was all muffled. I couldn't do it. So you didn't get the breakdown. But you already know. Your boy coming through with the review. So let's waste no more time. Let's get into it. Let's smoke. Like I said, welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. This is the review of UFC 327. Hashtag and new Sean Strickland. Wow. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get all the way through, but we're gonna go through the card. We're gonna talk about my predictions. We're gonna see how many predictions of mine hit and see how many were way off. And talk about some fights that actually hit that were really fun and some fights that sucked. So, opening the card, you had Jose Alcoa going up against Clayton Carpenter. I think I had Clayton Carpenter, so we started off the night 0-1. Then you had TAIRA versus Jordan Santos. Everybody already knew what was up with TAIRA. This dude is a dog. Kaiev, not Kairev. Kaiev. He is a dog. Got a submission in the third round, sorry. Submission in the third round. Then you move on. Pat Sabatini got the decision win over William Gomez. I pretty much predicted that. Roman Kopylov got the decision win over Marco Tulio. Let me talk about that for a second. My man Roman Kopylov caught this dude with one of the most beautiful, cleanest two pieces on the feet. Dropped him, swarmed him, and then clinched him and held him. Roman Kopylov could have finished that fight. Roman Kopylov should not have decision round 3, 5. That should not even say anything but KO next to his name. It should say KO round 1, round 2. I think it was round 1 or round 2. Should say KO. He should have got the finish. But that shit just comes down to like I hate to say piss poor IQ, but that's exactly what it came down to. That's piss poor IQ. If you got a man rocked and you go for a clinch or hold him or shoot or something, it's like the IQ is not there. I never understood fighters that do that. You got him rocked. Finish the fight. Now, it's different if you got him rocked and you clearly know you're not going to finish the guy, right? You're fighting a Nate Diaz type, a Justin Gaethje type, one where you really have to separate them from consciousness completely to be able to get that. You're just going to be draining yourself out by trying to knock somebody like that out, even when you rock them. But these other guys, you rock them, man, get the finish. He had that finish in the bag. That's what it is he had that finish in the bag, and he shot for a double leg, or it was kind of like a double leg, and he kind of just held it. He still got the win, but still could have had a finish under his name. Then we go to the opening of the prelims. My man Jim Miller. He always is taking care of business. This man has been taking care of business for as long as I've been watching this freaking sport. Okay? He has been whooping ass for as long as I can remember. Right? Fighting the top of the top, man. He fights everybody. You put him up against somebody, he don't say no. He fights the top of the top. He'll fight the lowest of the low. He'll fight the dude on the come up. He'll fight the dude who's on a 3-fight losing streak. It doesn't matter. Jim Miller will fight anybody. That's why he has 50 something fights in his career, because he's just willing. Here's something to put in perspective. Jim Miller has been fighting ever since Mike Brown was fighting. Mike Brown has now been a coach for, I don't know, maybe a decade now. Okay, so that just gives you an idea how long Jim Miller's been in the game. I don't think Mike Brown really fought since the early UFC days, right after they purchased WEC. He might have had a couple more fights in the UFC, but he was really the guy in WEC. To think that to think that oh my gosh, I'm losing train of thought because I'm over here thinking of Jeremy Stevens too, because I wanted to talk about that because he's been in the game for so long, just as long as these guys. But for Jim Miller to be doing what he's doing, right? When you see these other guys that have been fighting that were fighting when he was fighting, right? They started when he started and they've been retired 10 plus years and he's still going. It's extremely, extremely impressive. And not only is he still going, he's getting finishes along the way. Shout out to fucking Jim Miller. You move on to Grant Dawson getting the third round submission against Mateusz Rebecki. Rebecki is one tough ass dude, man. He is a tough ass dude. He makes it a difficult fight for anybody when they're in there. Grant Dawson was working his best spots. You know how he is. He's very good on when it comes to the wrestling. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got good submissions. You knew he was going to be working for that for the majority of the night. And that's pretty much what was happening. But the way that Mateusz just keeps on pushing forward, no matter what, man, he's still trying to go forward, still trying to get into a scrap, still trying to put you in a dangerous position. He had a couple moments, right? He had moments in the fight, but that's pretty much it. He just had moments. But the dude is extremely tough, but a good win for Grant Dawson. And he talked about in the post fight, he talked about, I think he lost his daughter. They had like his wife had a miscarriage, so you know, props off to him to be able to fight after going through something like that. Recent, you know what I'm saying? This is recent type of stuff. Still going out there to fight, put the fight on for the fans, go and get your money and put the work in and everything like that. It's just I have so much respect for guys when they do stuff like that, right? Because you don't have to do things like that. Right, realistically, if Grant Dawson said, I'm not fighting this fight because this just happened, no one should ever argue that. Compared to a guy saying, oh, I jammed my finger, I'm not fighting that guy. Completely different, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Grant Dawson, great win for him. Then you go to Joel Alvarez versus Yaroslav Amosov. I can't freaking say any of these names. That dude is a dog, though. Very tough, very relentless. Joel Alvarez was catching with some shots. Joel Alvarez just don't seem like he's got no power, and especially when you move up from 155 going to 170, you need to at least carry some power. He's not a heavy striker at all. Ended up getting submitted. Ended up getting taken to the ground. Once he got taken to the ground, it was nothing. It was nothing from that point on. In the second round, when he got taken down, over with. Just a wrap. I mean, Amosov is 30-1. So that's going to be a tough fight for anybody who wants to step foot against that guy who is trying to be on a come up, trying to break through top 15, top 10. He is going to be a tough guy to get past. And let me tell you, exciting finishes like what he did against Joel Alvarez, that's what fans want to see. So we're gonna sit back and say we want to see more of this guy. And if he continues to do that in one of the toughest divisions in the UFC, props off to him. Then you move on to the biggest betting favorite on the card, Atiba Gauthier. I think he was a minus 2,000, and his knockout was like minus 800 or something like that. And he got the knockout round 2. This fight I actually didn't see. I just wasn't in the room. I heard it, but I wasn't in the room. So I actually didn't see the knockout when it happened. But that dude is one tough dude, man. He is strong. He is strong. He is powerful. And I've been saying he's like what is middleweight? Yeah, he's like the middleweight Francis Ngannou. He's a problem. If he cleans up on a few things on the striking side, right? With that power, That's a tough fight for anybody fighting a guy like that. If he just polishes up a little bit on the boxing side, he already got the power locked in. Polishes up a little bit, he's landing shot. Oh my gosh, dude could be a dog. All right, opening the main card, you got King Green defeated Jeremy Stephens. Man, I thought Jeremy Stephens was going to be able to get this done. It is so weird how Bobby Green one fight would look like the most average-ass fighter, and then the next fight he looks like exactly what he changed his first name to, King. He looks like a king. It's just, I don't understand the fight game sometimes, man. It just does, the MMA math don't be mathing. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever. No sense is to be made with it. But King Green went out there, did what he did, or did what he does. He did exactly what he does. Hands down, taunting. Anything that Jeremy threw at him, made him miss, was hitting him with nice counter shots. Once that fight went to the ground, people don't realize Bobby Green, King Green, whatever you want to call him, he has really good jiu-jitsu, right? He can most definitely sub you if you're on the ground. He's got the skinny arms. He's able to get the neck. He is just a very good fighter all around for a guy who's been in the game for so long. He's not top tier. He's not this elite fighter, but he's a very good fighter, right? Because he knows how to, one, he'll get in a scrap. He knows how to get in your head, and he's got good ground game. So he's all around. He's got everything you need. He's a very exciting fighter. He's always been an exciting fighter. I just had a feeling that the way he fights with his hands down and everything like that, yeah, he was going to bob and weave and get out of some of them, but I thought Jeremy Stephens was going to be able to clip him on the chin and get a finish, and boy, was I wrong. Look, I was wrong about majority. I mean, when I say majority of this main card, like, I was way off. Way off. Sean Brady beat Joaquin Buckley. And all I got to say is, what were you training for? I don't get it. I don't understand. When you are going up against a wrestler, what is going on in training camp to where you come into the fight and you genuinely cannot defend a takedown? Or you go into the positions where every wrestler wants you to be in. I just don't understand what you're training for. What, you polished up on your striking? To do what? Beat him on the ground? It's not going to happen. Even throwing them little dinky punches. And I hate the way Sean Brady fights, man. I can't stand it. Right? You know me, I'm cool on the heavy wrestling anyways. I'm cool on the heavy wrestling. It's not my cup of tea. I like seeing a dominant guy who could take people down and get a submission, but you know that long drawn out, just scoring points and trying to get the decision win off of just laying and praying. I'm good on that, right? I am totally good on that. But the way Sean Brady does it, he takes you down, he gets you in a mountain, he lands these little pity-patty punches, and it pisses me off. Okay? It just pisses me off. Listen, come here. It pisses me off. Like, I don't think you understand it. It irks my soul. My soul be getting irked. It really grinds my gears, his fighting style. And Sean Brady seems like a cool dude. Seems like a nice, chill, cool guy. Can't stand the way he fights, though. And Buckley, I am so pissed at you, brother. I am so pissed. I feel like the dude who was yelling at Jimmy Butler when he saw Jimmy Butler outside and said, "Yo, Jimmy, I had you for 13 over. I had you for 13 plus points. Why didn't you get him?" And he said, "I don't give a fuck about your parlays." If I see Buckley, I'm yelling. Okay? No. Actually, I can't even be mad when it comes to the betting aspect and the parlays because my shit was chalked already. we were way out of the game. All right, we had no chance. There was no coming back. We took the L. We took the L quick. It's always quick. It's always so quick. Like, I don't even get a chance to let nothing marinate. It is so quick. You know who fucked my shit up? Joel Alvarez. Once he lost, my shit got fucked up. Fucked everything up. Which I should have known better. I don't know. I saw him at it was like a plus 140. I said, fuck it, I'm going to take it. I took all the plus ones. Anybody who had plus 100, I took it. Why not? Buckley, when I originally took him, was an underdog. Then he was the favorite, and he did not look like somebody who should be a favorite. Not at all. Not at all. Man, am I pissed, because he was my dark horse of the division, too. This shit pisses me. Gears are grinded, my friend. All right, so you move on to the next fight, the heavyweight matchup that was actually a really good fight. Bit of a slugfest. I agree with the decision. I know a lot of people thought Waldo Cortez Acosta did enough to get that win, but he didn't. It's why he didn't get the win. In my opinion, Volkov did the damage, landed the heavy shots, didn't really get hurt. Like, I think he got stumbled one time, and it wasn't even like a stumble. You just kind of saw him like get clipped, right? He was fighting good. The dude is very tall, long, strong. If he had one punch knockout power, which is surprising that he doesn't, being how big he is, if he had one punch knockout power, Pavlovich or Ngannou style, something like that, oh my gosh. I don't know who in the division would really pose a threat to him. Because he's a tough-ass dude, and he's got a great fighting style at heavyweight. He's just missing that key thing to be at heavyweight, which is that knockout power. Now, accumulated strikes over time, yeah, he'll end up getting the finish. He'll probably end up knocking you out. But I'm telling you, you would see Francis land a shot, and it's like, oh, that's literally all he needed was that shot. If Volkov was that guy with the way that he fights, the style, the length, everything, oh, man, dude would be disgusting. And he's extremely good now. You know what I mean? So he would just be even better. But I really thought Waldo Cortez Acosta was going to get this one done. Thought the dude was riding the wave. I said, fuck it. I'm going to ride the wave too. I'm going to rock with Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think he's going to get it done. And then he goes in there and he just lands a couple good shots. All he had was moments. So all he had in the fight was moments. If that's all you're going to get in the fight is just moments, don't expect to win the decision. You can't expect to win the decision if all you have is moments. He had trouble closing the distance on Volkov. He had trouble getting in to land the shots that made the biggest differences in his other fights, right? He couldn't get it done. So it happens. Where you send Waldo Cortez Acosta, you send him back down a couple, and we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? You give him another run. See if he is that guy who could go out there and put on some really good fights and big scraps and stuff like that, and move right back up. You never know. You could see him in the top 3 like that. You never know. Okay, I am stoned. All right, we move on to the fight of the night. This fight is going to be on the list for fight of the year without a doubt. Without a doubt, that fight was phenomenal, and I am talking Josh Van Tour TAIRA. Whoa. You boys scrapped it out. Shout out to both of you. 2 of the youngest in the UFC battling for a title. Put on an incredible performance on both ends. On both ends, they were having phenomenal performances. Tatsuya TAIRA had a lot of success early on, right? And it's not like he didn't have success again later on. It just, Josh Van was finding his shots. Josh Van was finding the moments, and it was a great fight. Great fight between 2 great flyweights, and let me tell you something. That is what the flyweight division needs, is people doing that. We don't want to see no boring shit. We want to see the flyweight division doing that. Simple as that. It's just that simple. But I got so much respect for these boys, man. They really went out there and scrapped it. Like I said, the flyweight division needs that shit. We thought Josh Van versus Alejandro Pantoja was going to be a scrap. And it should have been and would have been if Pantoja didn't get injured in that fight. And that's one of the worst ways to lose your belt. And in my opinion, one of the worst ways to become champion. But when you become champion, if you're going to fight people who's not the former champion, you're not going to run that fight back. You got to fight the next up-and-comer, right? You got to defend the belt. Josh Van showed that he could do it. And that's one of the main things. Josh Van showed he could do it. And guess what Tatsuro Taira showed everybody? He is tough as nails, okay? That is a tough-ass dude as well. A lot of tough people on this card. It was just a card of people getting beat up, staying in there. Tatsuro Taira, like I said, he had early success. He had a lot of early success. Dude is slick. And he has good striking. I just think the thing is Josh Van is not like all this elite levels ahead type striker, but a more experienced, more polished striker for sure. Tatsuro Taira wants to knock you down so he can end up getting something to where he could potentially submit you. That's the whole goal, right? And he's got that skill set. He has that skill set. There's no doubt in my mind. He's been putting guys in tough positions. He's getting out of the tough positions he's in to put guys in the tough positions. He's extremely talented. And I could see him fighting again for a belt very soon type shit. But we'll see what happens. But no, it was a great performance on both ends. Like I said, them boys were scrapping. Josh Van is a tough dude. Tatsuro Taira is a tough dude. And I guarantee you they're going to end up meeting each other again in the future. And I don't think fans are going to be pissed off about it. Fans are going to want to see that. We are definitely going to want to see two guys who go out there and scrap. And it's good because they're young guys too, right? So they get that label under them early that they're willing to go out there and trade and put on an exciting fight. Like, that was a fantastic flyweight fight. That was probably the best flyweight fight I've ever seen. That was incredible. The heart of Tatsuro Taira plus the skill of Josh Van, the way that he was starting to just unleash and pick him apart. Now, granted, was the stoppage a little early? Slightly, yeah, because you could let it go with 125ers for a couple more seconds. Now, was he good? Was it over? Yes. You know what I'm saying? It was over. It was going to be over. It was just a few more punches away from being over, right? But it was a little early. But at 125, you could risk it a little bit more. And I'm not saying put these guys' brains on the line and shit like that, but you could risk it a little bit more. Compared to a heavyweight fight, you want to get in there pretty much right away, But great win by Josh Van. Very good win. What's next for him? Hopefully Pantoja heals up quick because that's the fight, man. We want to see that fight, like just the actual fight itself. We didn't even get to see them scrap at all. We didn't get to see them do anything, right? So I really want to see that fight. Really, really want to get that, see what it's all about, see where Josh Van really is. Because Josh Van just fought a guy who was also on the up and coming, you know what I mean? He's got to fight guys who have been in the position before, and that's what this one will be. So it's going to be interesting. His rise in the division was very quick, very impressive and very quick. So, and I think I'm a fan of Josh Van, so I think I'm going to be tuning in to anytime I see his name on a card. All right, so we go on to the main event. And new Sean Strickland beats Khamzat Chimaev, takes the O, gives him his first loss in the UFC. We talked about it in the individual fighter breakdowns. If Khamzat was to gas and Sean is able to start opening up and taking over in 3-4-5, that's what he would do. Now, he didn't necessarily take over in 3-4-5. He definitely won 5 in my opinion, but I think it was a 3-2 Sean. I do think it was 3-2 Sean, but it was close. Khamzat being on his back did not help him at all. He was winded, man. He was gassed. He went for everything in that first round, couldn't get in the first round and was gassed. And it's wild because he's such a heavy trainer. He trains so heavy. How does he not have the cardio? It confuses me, man. It really does confuse me. It confuses me just as much as Sean Strickland beating him, Sean Strickland beating Izzy but losing to DDP 2 times. And then Khamzat beating the brakes off of, not beating the brakes off of DDP, but subbing him, or what? Geez, I can't talk. Not subbing him, taking him down at will the entire time. But Sean did what Sean does. Sean stuck behind his jab, kept on pushing forward, didn't let anything really slow him down. After the wrestling early onslaught, he did what he needed to do. Clear that, man. Clear that early onslaught. Weather that storm, and he did. He weathered it. Khamzat couldn't get him out of there, couldn't get him finished. A lot of people thought it was going to be immediate. I thought it was going to be immediate. Sean, hats off to you, partner. Great fight. Great fight. It's always, Sean Strickland is always coming through getting a decision win in a fight that I always think, like, oh, if he gets a win, it's got to be a fluke knockout. This dude's getting decision wins against guys that people are 100% certain that he should not beat. And he does. Good for him. All right, let me finish this before I fall asleep. But, yeah, great win by Sean Strickland. He did his thing. He weathered the storm. He went out there, utilized his jab. Didn't do a ton on the kicks, but utilized his jab. Made Khamzat work more. Khamzat bounces around a lot. You knew he was going to tire out. He tired out in the first round. Continued to gas out throughout the fight. And Sean did his thing. So it's just that simple. Just that simple. But that's it for this episode. You know what to do. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. And I'll catch you on the next episode. We're probably going to do some talking about this UFC White House card, this 250 Freedom card. We're going to have to do some talking about it and see what's up and see what everybody's thinking. So drop some comments in down below. Let's talk about some stuff. I always say it. I just want to hear people talk about some stuff. Let's talk about fights. Let's talk about anything. You could dog me. I don't care. Critique me. Whatever you want to do. Just comment. Just comment. And if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, what you doing? What you doing? Want to know how fast it? You want to know how fast it is? Right? That's it. That's it. You open up the YouTube app. You go where the subscribe button is at. And you click that motherfucker. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, partner. No, I appreciate you guys for watching. As always, you know what to do. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button. And I'll catch you on the next episode. Your boy Bando is out. Peace.